Hi, I'm Natalie, and I have an eating disorder. Hello, Natalie. So I guess I've been kind of a closet binger until now. Really? How did that happen? What do you mean, how did that happen? Well, isn't it harder for you to kind of closet binge at your size? I guess so, maybe. Okay, go on. So, yeah, I guess weight loss has been difficult for me to do. Yeah. Well, I've actually been fat pretty much my whole adult life. I don't understand. Wouldn't it just be easier to stop yourself before that became a problem? Are you kidding right now? Well, no. Alcoholics stop and drug addicts stop, so. Well, I can't just go cold turkey off of food. We have to eat to live. Well, you never will with that attitude. Okay, so what are you saying? That those are real addicts and I'm not because it's food? Oh my gosh, exactly. Yes. See, you understand. Okay, so maybe I'm done sharing for today. Ugh, finally. Why don't you just go and get your Little Debbies and your stretch pants that help you feel less fat? Go ahead. Oh, okay. This is like the worst AA meeting. Wait. AA? Is this Alcoholics Anonymous? Am I in the wrong room? No, it's Abusers Anonymous. AA, Abusers Anonymous. Can't you read? Did you not look at that on the way in? Oh my gosh. You've got to be kidding. Abusers Anonymous. What's so funny? Why are you laughing, fat ass? I'm sorry. I keep thinking, I thought I had problems. But dude, you are off the chain about this. I could still lose weight and get control of an eating disorder, but you're an abuser and you'll always be an abuser, clearly. Hey, no. Don't you abuse me. I'm the victim, not you. I'm the victim. I do hope that you enjoyed this content. It's a little bit of a different approach, hopefully a little more entertaining, less, just sitting and listening to me talk. I do have a binge eating disorder. I am encountered by the compulsive eating issue. Not so much lately since I've gotten sick because I feel nauseous most of the time, nauseated, so it's not the same anymore. But my last binge was around Christmas time last year, so it's still there. It still gives me trouble sometimes, and I pay for it every time. But the bigger problem is how this addiction is viewed versus real addictions, because like I said, everybody that deals with an addiction, you have alcoholics, you have Narcotics Anonymous and all these things, and it's like, so because I have a food disorder, that's not real. That should be my own willpower. I don't know how many times people even really close to me have been like, you just have to decide to do it. You just have to decide to do it. Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess that's probably true, but also I need support. I need, understanding. I need to not be told that I'm stupid for thinking that I even have an issue. Like, some people don't believe in depression and anxiety, and some people don't believe in food issues, especially some snobby folks up in the gym area that are, they take an hour to get ready before they go to the gym, and they go to the best gym ever. It's the best gym, and they don't want your fat ass in there. You know, every time I've done the whole, it's January and I'm going to do this. Because for a long time I did that, like a lot of people. But I would also always get the looks, the body check, and the are you lost? Because, I mean, at best, the cafe's downstairs. That's where your food's going to be. People are just rude about it, you know, and it's progressing as an issue. And now with my diseases and how I'm retaining so much fluid and not being able to eat, and it's like my weight fluctuates so badly. That's why I haven't been able to do a video that's like, hey, here's what I eat in a day and here's how it affected me, because there are so many things that go into whatever day it is. Did I wake up really sick? Did I wake up with a headache? Did I wake up with energy? That completes the initial phase of seeing how my day is going to go. And like, even when I go to get blood, I went to the lab. I went to the lab this week to have my blood drawn to check my numbers, and I'm going like, you know, a toddler could have gone slowly and would have still beaten me. I was walking so slowly, I was so dizzy and very nauseated, and not because of the blood. I've gotten used to that for a while now. But I'm in there, and my hair, which it's growing back, and there's a lot of bare spots still. And I'm taking a new medication, an additional medication that is supposed to have a nice bonus of hair growth. The problem with that, as a sidebar, is the medicine's called aldactone. Spironolactone. Aldactone is the brand, I guess. And one of its side benefits, it's off-label kind of use, is potential to grow hair on your head and things. But mine is caused by two things. I have the chemo that's causing it, and then I had the PCOS that's causing it. That's why you see this dark scalp line of hair here, and the way it grows right there. That is, wow, look at all them gray hairs. Look at how smart I am. Wise. This is the token of a PCOS hair loss, because they still have it right here. But then this area, and a patch back here, it's more like male pattern baldness, because there's an excess of DHT that has to be corrected. And I can't take anything for anything except for to keep me alive. So I can't go on Rogaine for a man or a woman. The woman one is less, which is stupid, but I do have that sprinkly stuff, but I've done that a couple times successfully. But then I've also looked like, you know, Jason Alexander and Shallow Hal putting his turf back on there, because it looks like a black helmet. And then putting aside all these things that you guys know about what's going on with my life and my illness, I face every day the ridicule of, so you're moving slow, you have hair loss, and you're fat, so that must mean it's all your fault. If you're fat, you're lazy. If you're fat, you have no willpower. If you're fat, you don't care about yourself. If you're fat, you're never going to get as far. That one's kind of true because of society. I have been in the position of having applied for jobs in my early 20s. I've had an excessive collection of name tags and hairnets. But I was trying to say something, and just by trying to be clever, I have lost it, because that's one of my issues. Anyway, I don't enjoy the idea that, I think this is what I was saying, I don't appreciate the idea, the assumption that, you know, if I'm fat and I'm, you know, I've lost weight in the past, so why can't I just do that again? And I wasn't even fat in high school, why can't I do that again? I mean, there's only been 3 major points in my adult life where my attempt at weight loss became fruitful after I was 18. I was not fat in high school. I was actually very happy with my size in high school. I always had a boyfriend, and I went to all the homecomings and all the proms. And at the time, I was just full on wanting that. I wanted the whole experience. I got so many good experiences by not being fat in high school, but also by not knowing how to eat correctly. As soon as I had my freedom, it was like, hey. So the binge eating disorder actually began in high school for me, middle school, in fact, like 8th grade. And then I was in a circumstance where it wasn't a supportive role, but it was a way to be held accountable for what my weight was doing. And so I gained so much weight as soon as I was out of that circumstance, because all I had learned is about not eating, not about eating correctly. And I mainly ate carbs and sugar, which it was just the best information at the time. Everything's low fat and everything's this. So it was just the approach. But once you're let loose, I did the whole college thing, ramen noodles, and I'm free. Let's go right up to the Huddle House. If you don't have one of those, it's like Waffle House. But like Waffle House, there's a lot of them. Or Coffee Kettle in Florida. So I haven't had a lot of opportunities for myself to have that same level of accountability, because if the people I would want to help me, I'm not afraid of them. I don't care if they don't like what I'm eating. I don't. So that's not going to work for me. So my motivation has to be different. Right now, this is like the worst diet ever, because I have to eat to not get nauseated. I can't eat when I'm nauseated. And it's just So yeah, I wanted to give this perspective because there are a lot of people out there who have any number of issues, and weight gain or inability to lose weight successfully is a huge issue for thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in this country. And our country doesn't do a lot to make that easier, while we can still get, dollar menu crap on dollar menu crappy places, while, a head of organic broccoli costs you $4. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So when you see people out that are fat, that are walking slowly, that look like they've given up and they don't care about their appearance, remember to think of them as, having a different disorder. This is what Mitch Hedberg's joke was, I remember. He said, "Damn it, Otto, you are an alcoholic. Damn it, Otto, you have lupus." So his comparison was lupus to alcohol. And the idea just being that, I'm not trying to stay fat. In fact, my weight has fluctuated a good 30 pounds down and up, and I'm trying to get off the prednisone that's causing that the most, and all these issues that I'm trying to get to go away. But the idea is okay, you have an addiction, whether it's what the hell? It may be correlated with things like drug use, which probably just speaks to the socioeconomic status that is disenfranchising a whole group of people and always has in this country, versus someone saying, if I show up, with my hair just shaved, and you can still see after one day, my 5 o'clock head shadow is there, but my spaces are still really sparse. My sparses. So growing it out, sorry, I was trying to pop stuff. Growing it out isn't necessarily the best thing, but when I walk through places and they see me with my shaved head and my mask and I'm going slowly, I think they get really perplexed, because they're like, oh, most people who shave their head and are in and out of the doctor a lot have cancer, and they're taking chemo, and they're not usually fat. Usually the mark of being sick is an extreme weight loss, and the idea there is to not assume. And remember that, I didn't have anyone looking into this. I had symptoms unknown what they were for, very much broad, when I was 19. This has been going on for so long that's why it went so bad. Like, it finally hit its mark where it's like, okay, I have too much cirrhosis now. You can't keep not treating an illness you didn't know you had because it's stupid and rare. And I do not feel special about that. But I do feel special about the support that I do have. I don't need a big circle. I just need a strong one. And so thank you to family and friends who are being supportive. And when you see other people that look like me or look like, older people, I have so much water retention that, I can say hello and goodbye with the same wave. Sorry, I almost dropped you. And it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable all the time. So just keep that in mind. Give people the benefit of the doubt, even if you see them out and you see them eating things they shouldn't, and you're like, that's so disgusting. That whole thing is disgusting. You are entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to be entitled about somebody else's medical issues or dietary choices. Those are not your decisions, and you do not run the social circle for acceptable weight gain in this country or any country. So when you feel like you want to say something about someone and judge them, because we all tend to sometimes, many different types of people, it's not okay. People should be given the benefit of the doubt until you learn, like, yeah, they just don't care, or they care but they keep falling off the wagon because it's so ingrained in them that that's what they need to feel better. That's their comfort food. When you're depressed, you go for comfort food. If you grew up in the South, that's already a problem, because comfort food is not just a little low-fat pint of ice cream that, all the girls on Friends share. No. So I know that I get looked at. I know that I get judged, even within my own family, because people think they know best. And for those of you that are related to me or have been a relative in my life at any time, if that doesn't seem to correlate with you, then it doesn't have anything to do with you. Don't take this problem and make it something it's not. The people that have been supportive know who they are. The people that have not been supportive know who they are too. So I'm going to go and wish you guys all a good 4th weekend. Please remember, the pandemic is not it's not over, but it's also having a summer burst, despite Trump's claims that, as soon as it's hot out, it'll just disappear. No. So, we have learned that doing things in the outdoors is better than the indoors, but there should still be social distancing. There should still be masks worn. And I think the only thing I could picture not being like that is maybe being on a boat. And this is my conjecture, but I'm thinking, like, if it's you and your family, right, that you share everyday germs with anyway, and you go to a boating on 4th of July or the weekend, the air's blowing and you can play in the water, and I think that's probably going to be fine, but that would be my assessment. And if someone said, hey, you want to go on a boat ride, that would probably be something fun to do. But being stationary, like a park or somewhere where you're just grilling out and mingling with people you may not even know, that's not right. That doesn't sound like a good thing to do. I will be celebrating the freedom of this country by thanking the people who helped build it. Because if all these white people think that they are the reason why we have infrastructure, this is the reason why we have established agriculture and buildings and monuments, those were on the backs of minorities, literally. We stole people from their land, brought them over here where we already intruded on people's land, claimed it all for ourselves because we are just arrogant as hell, and then made people work for free for no anything. They were not just not being paid. They were being sequestered. They weren't allowed to leave. And, you know, I'm not going to get on a tangent because I could so easily do that. So if you are a minority by definition, not by reality, if you are a black person or a brown person, you are more of a foundation for our country than the fat white old men were when they decided to found this country and escape England. So thank you for giving us the foundation, and I really hope that things really do take hold after this Black Lives Matter movement, because it's not just that Black Lives Matter, the movement. It's also that Black lives matter. Brown lives matter. And if you don't think that, then you are a part of the problem. Sorry, not sorry. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, all those things you guys don't normally do. One of these days, I'm going to get another subscriber. I'm going to hit 10 people. I'm going to throw myself a little party. 10 people, 2 digits. Give it to me. All right. That's probably enough for now. 18 minutes. Thanks for hanging in, guys. Be good to yourselves.